I did recently stay at a hotel, and I'm thinking, is my credit card one of those? And if so, what do these hackers do with them?
Somebody could take my identity, and I mean, we watch movies all the time about it, and it happens in real life.
I feel like you really can't trust anything nowadays. Like, you think that you can trust something, and you actually can't.
I think something has to be done because, like I said, this is becoming a common occurrence.
Concern tonight from some hotel guests who've checked into the downtown Sheraton here in Toronto, as well as multiple other Marriott International Starwood hotels. The reservation system has been hacked, and the personal information of 500 million customers may have been compromised.
Well, this is the third largest breach in history today, right behind Equifax, Yahoo. This is now going to be the largest one.
The scope is massive and the details stolen staggering. Addresses, dates of birth, passport numbers, emails, and phone numbers. The breach occurred in the reservation system of Marriott's Starwood hotel properties. That includes the W Hotels, St. Regis, Sheraton Hotels, Westin Hotels, Le Méridien Hotels, 4 Points by Sheraton, and multiple others. Information stolen was back as far as 2014.
This is a fairly massive breach that will affect Canadians. I mean, this is an international breach. You look at UK, you look around the world, various locations under this particular brand. Canada has a lot of those hotels here. As Canadians, we should be worried because our data is getting exposed.
Hackers also obtained encrypted credit card information for some customers, but it's unclear if they'll be able to use those payment details. Marriott says they're still not sure how many passport numbers were stolen. According to cyber crimes expert Daniel Tabuk, one of the big questions is, who's behind this hack?
We really have two parties here. One of them is the criminal actors, the organized crime. Number two, this could be part of a state-sponsored attack. So this potential information could flow all the way up to security and intelligence services in various countries. Some could be friends of the nation, some could be enemies of the nation.
Is it each record going to be sold for $1? Is it going to be sold for 50 cents? Is it going to be sold for a bulk? Is it going to be an online auction? You don't know.
CDN Technologies CEO Barbara Polskowitz says this information could already be on the dark web this hour, being sold to the highest bidder.
Your personal information that has just been stolen is stored on the dark web, and it's sold on the dark web. So moving forward, now someone has all of your personal information, and they can create another you, and they can duplicate you.
Now, the company released a statement tonight saying we fell short of what our guests deserve and what we expect of ourselves. Over to Erica now with whether or not the Marriott should be serving up more than just an apology.
Thanks, Adrian. So who is ultimately accountable when these major data breaches occur? Think of how many times you tap your credit card, you sign up for a service, or you register to stay at a hotel. Each time your personal information is sucked into a machine and stored by an organization digitally, often for indefinite amounts of time, and you're trusting that organization to keep your information safe. Robert Houdima, an associate professor at the Ted Rogers School of Information Technology Management, likens accountability in data breaches to someone breaking into your home.
If somebody breaks into your home, okay, who's accountable? And to some extent, if you forgot to lock the door, you're accountable. But if you lock the door and you had a burglar alarm system and it went off, and you have insurance for your home, the insurance company is going to settle on your loss.
Now, there is a precedent for class action lawsuits against companies that have suffered data breaches. One such lawsuit was launched against credit reporting agency Equifax. Last year, it discovered a hack affecting a staggering 148 million people, where information such as social insurance numbers, credit card information, birth dates, and driver's licenses were compromised. It failed to disclose the breach for 2 months after the discovery. Houdima says Marriott can likely expect lawsuits to come, but whether they're successful depends on the nature of the hack.
If you look at the Marriott Hotel, it's owned by the shareholders, and the shareholders appoint a board of directors. So really, if you're going to sue the company, you sue the company, and the management and the board of directors are responsible for responding. If the company was negligent, the lawsuits against the company will be, in all likelihood, successful. But if the Marriott Hotel did everything right and had state-of-the-art information security, and they were diligent in all aspects, the liability and exposure would be contained and probably much smaller.
Now, Hodima estimates that the cost of this breach for Marriott could reach over $1 billion if potential lawsuits are successful. Now, because of the 500 million potential accounts that were affected here, this ranks as one of the worst hacks in the last 5 years. Coming up, in total, how does this affect your security? Now, the Marriott and Starwood data breach is just the latest in a number of companies that have been targeted by major data breaches and major hacks. In the past 5 years, multiple organizations from Target to Equifax to eBay have all fallen victim. In 2013, American retail chain Target was hacked, affecting 41 million customers. In 2014, eBay's database was compromised. Unsure of the scope, it asked all 145 million active users to change their passwords. A 2013 Yahoo data breach affected a staggering 3 billion accounts. And last year, credit reporting agency Equifax discovered a hack affecting 148 million people. Consumer information, including social insurance numbers, birth dates, credit card information, and driver's licenses were all compromised. That combination of information that's gathered from all of these hacks, not just Marriott, from Target, from Yahoo, what picture does that paint? How vulnerable does that make you? What can they do with it now?
You know something? If you have a good credit rating, if you have a few dollars in the bank, and I have all that information about you, I'm tempted to go buy a condominium in your name. I'm tempted to get a large mortgage as possible from the bank, okay? And before I make that first payment on the mortgage, I'm going to flip the property and make a profit. And you know something? You're left up paying the bill for that mortgage on the condominium that you have no knowledge of.
And that's just one example.
That's a bad example for an individual. That's identity theft.
So short of going off the grid, there is really no foolproof way to ensure your online security, but Hodima does recommend a couple of things that you can do. So first, you can be diligent about your finances so you can recognize any strange activity. He also says there are services you can subscribe to that can track anomalies in your accounts for you.